Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of July 26, 2014 and the previous two, I suppose. I'm your host, Ellis, and with me I have Wybold, TJ, and Milky as my co-host. And special guest O'Gillies once again.
Oh, I'm a special... No.
Dubstep time!
He is a special guest.
O'Gillies, you just are special.
Aww.
Oh.
Wait,
but remember, the train will terminate at this station.
At the station.
Okay, so this week we are visiting beautiful Bailey Yard
It's really
in
friggin'
Nebraska,
shiny.
I believe.
Why are you still sharing your screen?
What?
You're still sharing your screen, why?
Oh, Jesus
Okay.
Christ, get on with it. Bailey Yard, somewhere.
Bailey Yard, Union Pacific, Nebraska.
Equals
And here we
many
go.
trains.
And also the screen is covered with dust or something, because there's all sorts of lens flare. It's like J.J. Abrams took it over.
Oh. The moment J.J. Abrams takes over Union Pacific, it becomes more like CSX. Derailments and explosions everywhere.
Oh, come on. J.J. Abrams isn't that bad. He can...
Okay.
No. Listen. If J.J. Abrams were to take over CSX, they would get a Steam program, because he's good at keeping the heritage. Just look at Star Trek. Alright.
Well,
That was great.
That was fantastic.
Okay, shout out to Into Darkness. I have it on the wall over there. But, this week my long drive, or rather this episode, my long drive was, somewhere to somewhere else. I don't actually remember it, but I drove a distance. Oh yeah, no, I came back from Rensselaer, because I went up to Rensselaer one more time. Didn't get to see the layout this time. But there were a few Norfolk Southern trains on the way home that I got to spot. Just at random. Now, the real, the only train I saw at home was I was just driving around, and I go under this bridge quite often. It's an Amtrak main line, the Northeast Corridor.
yay!
And I go under it quite often, and I just heard this very loud noise while I was under it. I didn't get to turn around and check who it was, or check what it was, because I was driving. But,
Boo.
You have mirrors.
yeah, but the bridge is out of range of the mirrors, because of the way you come out of it, because you're in a dip. So the mirrors just point at the road behind you. You can't actually see it.
Oh,
But,
the Apponaug Bridge?
yeah, it just sounded like a train was going by overhead. I really don't know, but accidental rail
Fair
fanning.
enough.
Now there really wasn't anything else from that's specific to me. I do have something else to talk about later, except for I want to just make a little note on how I talk about rail fanning versus how Milky talks about rail fanning, which is
Oh. Oh god.
which is a very extreme difference. If you'll notice, as Wybold put it, I have nothing and I stretch it out to like 10 minutes, and Milky has everything and he does it in 30 seconds. So,
Which is not enough time for me to make toast.
yeah, that was the continuation. But,
Damn it, Milky.
I feel like it's definitely because I don't go out and do it, and I feel like every time I see a train, it's kind of a privilege.
Hey,
I'm
look,
deprived.
there's a CNW unit on the webcam!
A slug?
No, it's an actual, like, ace... I don't know, whatever the CNW units are.
Ace.
It's obviously patched.
The Ace of
But
Spades!
Ace of
It's free on
base.
Steam.
Alright, but, Wybold actually went other than just being under a random bridge, Wybold actually went somewhere cool.
I did. I went to the Forney Museum of Transportation in beautiful and today a little bit rainy Denver, Colorado, where big boy number 4005 is housed, and I actually went inside the cab of the 4005, which...
There are a lot of gauges and buttons and dials and things.
Yeah, every rail fan knows that the big boy is massive. You really do have to see it in person
Listen,
to understand how
I don't-
girthy and how massive everything is.
That's what
The
she
big
said.
boy is very
First of all,
bueno.
I don't think you need to be a rail fan to understand that the big boy is big. But I get your point.
That's true. That's true. But just this massive
Cock.
engine.
Enjoy.
And a number of other things at the museum, too. They had a big steam-powered rotary snowplow that was really neat to see.
Don't fall into
Had
it.
had a Vandy tender on it.
Wait,
They
what
had a
was that?
10-wheeler. They had an actual Forney at the Forney Museum, go figure.
Yeah.
They also had a little German 040 tank engine that was interesting to see. But, Sich Heil! But, I don't know, will we get flagged for being hateful for saying that?
I don't know. Do we even have viewers over there now, or did we lose them before?
I don't know, I don't think we've lost the Germans yet.
Well,
now we do.
There they go. Why?
Yeah, that's true.
There they go.
See, no, I wasn't
No, we lost-
thinking that we lost the Germans there. I was thinking we lost someone else that
We
time.
lost the Nazi sympathizers.
No, I was thinking of another group that I won't name because...
Let's not get specifically... Yeah. Okay, yeah, move on.
Right. But basically, this museum is just huge. It's full of cars and trains, and the big boy takes up, like, 90% of one wall because it's just huge.
Oh.
Really?
Is that the one that got in the accident, or is it a different one?
Yes, it actually is. I never knew that a big boy was in an accident, and it turns out this thing hit a curve too quickly, rolled over, took like 16 cars with it. The engineer and firemen were killed instantly in the slight explosion that happened.
Oh.
Luckily, the
No
brakeman
bueno.
survived, and his quote was, "I didn't think it was possible for the big boy to die."
They called it
but
unsinkable.
They called it unsinkable.
More
and
like
in railroad terms, it
underailable.
sank.
Iceberg.
It went back into service, and it was actually the only big boy converted to run on oil, which
So
ironically
far.
enough was found to be inefficient, so it was changed back over to coal,
Wow.
See?
which I believe Milky will talk about a little bit
UP,
later.
listen.
UP,
What?
you must learn from your past. But TJ has some stuff about lakes. So
And West and lies.
I
and
found out he was in
canyons.
Utah and he didn't even tell me. Jeez.
And I hear Ellis's text tone in
Shut.
the background.
Shush.
don't have your phone off? How unprofessional.
Shut.
It has a train
background.
whistle as a sound effect, therefore it's always professional.
Oh, I have one too.
I have a steam whistle too.
NSGP 38-2s.
But so I was on a vacation
Whoa, no way!
last
Oh,
week. Well, I still am. I visited. I left on the 12th of July.
July!
Ellis gets that joke.
July!
The 12th of July.
We weren't gonna bring up again.
But
Why?
so
There's 3
first,
strikes for you. There's 4 strikes for you right there.
so first of all, I went to Swagsburg, of course, for my yearly trip. But I saw number 90. It was the only one running. I have another story for why it was the only train running in the middle of July, which is not a good idea for Strasbourg, but I will tell that story in the current events, or my assigned jurisdiction section.
Terrorists, probably.
That's actually why you can't drive over the Hoover Dam.
For terrorists.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can't? Can you?
Yes.
Can ya?
I've driven over it several times.
Well,
Meaning 4 times.
You're wrong. Alright, moving on. So I was in Arizona/Utah/Nevada.
Hey, you were in Utah and you didn't tell me.
we've already been over this.
Oh my
Nobody
god, I was
likes
there
you.
for a day. Suck it up. And I saw,
Who?
and I was driving to Monument Valley from the Grand Canyon. And we were driving on the bus.
And he texts me.
And well, no. Let me tell the story. So we were driving along. I look out the window, and there's electrified concrete tied train single track
In the middle of nowhere.
next to the highway, running straight along the highway.
That's
And I mean, in the middle of the desert, why would you need, or on the middle of a Navajo reservation, why would you need a single track electrified route? So at first I was like, it must be like a test track or something, because it was almost perfectly straight and it was almost flat. But so I text Ellis because figuring he'd know,
And I did.
and he did.
I felt really
But,
important.
So I explained it to him, and he said that it was the Black Mesa and Lake Powell, one of the simplest railroads ever.
It's like a 5-year-old designed it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. But so it's a single track from Lake Powell to Black Mesa, and it services one industry and one industry only.
Well,
it goes
2.
Well, technically 2, but it's for one industry.
One commodity.
It's like
coal.
Yeah. So it goes from a coal mine in Black Mesa. It goes around a balloon loop after loading up the coal cars, back onto the single track, all the way to Lake Powell, goes on to another balloon loop.
Which is in Utah, and again, you didn't tell me.
Shut up!
Try some more.
Well...
Build a bridge, cry me a river, build a bridge and get over it. But, so, and then it goes to Utah, goes to Lake Powell in Utah, goes around part of a balloon loop, stops, unloads all the coal cars in a power plant, and goes back to the coal mine, and it does this 24/7, 3 times a day, according to Ellis.
Why does it need to be electrified? What
Because they run
to a power plant. It's the most efficient thing to do.
Right, but what kind of equipment do they run?
They have like
10
E60Cs.
E60Cs.
Yeah.
E60.
They're like think toaster but bigger.
Amtrak used to have a couple of them, right?
Yeah, they used to have quite a few of them. They were the predecessors to the toasters.
But anyway, so I saw the very massive train on the balloon loop in Lake Powell. We drove by it because most of the time when we were driving from Monument Valley to Lake Powell, we went back the way we came and we saw the train tracks again. Well, I did. I don't really think anybody else did, but
yes, because they all were blind.
And then, so after that, I went from Lake Powell to Bryce Canyon National Park, and I stayed there.
Again, that's in Utah.
Shut up.
I know that. I don't care.
Jeez, you would have at least told me.
Feel bad.
Bryce.
But so from Bryce, we went to Zion, and then on the way to Las Vegas, we crossed over and went under and over and along some UP main line, and I saw a couple UP trains.
UP
One
is
of them
swag.
Was on the way to Las Vegas. No. One of them was in Las Vegas, and the other one was on in the airport at Las Vegas on the way getting.
It was
just about to get on the
plane.
No.
It was going through customs. It wasn't on the plane yet.
He was having problems in security.
Imagine how difficult it is to get one of those through a metal detector.
What a full train!
Yes.
Just having like an AC. What is it? AC60 or whatever.
AC 4400.
Yeah, AC 4400 and like 100 coal cars through a metal detector.
I have an interesting fact about UP and airplanes while on the subject.
Uh-oh.
My dad pointed this out today while we were at the Forney Museum with the big boy because he's an airline pilot. He flies a jumbo jet. And he pointed out that a Boeing 747 carries 3 times the liquid fuel that a big boy does and weighs about 1/3 that the big boy does. So, yeah.
Hey, TJ, speaking on the note of UP in Las Vegas, when I was leaving Las Vegas, I saw intermodal, and you know what was the second unit on the intermodal?
Norfolk Southern.
A CSX ES44 Jeepo.
On the track.
What?
On the track.
It's not miraculous that you saw it in Las Vegas. It's miraculous you saw it on the track. But, so, anyway,
St. Providence in Western Virginia.
Person X is a liar.
Ha-ha! See, I wanted to talk to him about this, but I didn't want to jump the gun. But I saw him at the operating session with nobody.
You may know him as Train Brain 2000. If you subscribe to him on YouTube, he just put up recently from, I think, the July 12th and July 8th, he went to Swagsburg.
Rail van.
And he railed them. He didn't just ride the train.
They had a coach. They had a Strasbourg coach. When they came back, I saw them running it.
Really?
Yeah.
Those dirty dogs.
Wait,
so I commented on.
It was person X and another person.
X.
Person X.
Person
X,
Y.
X prime.
X prime. X squared.
Save time, save money.
So obviously he didn't just go with one of his friends.
CaliforniaZephyr.com.
Oh, Jilly, shut up.
But it's
No
California
singing.
Zephyr.
No one cares.
Pit of
But
death.
so, he didn't just go with one of his friends and hate to go to Strasbourg and maybe catch an Amtrak train on the main line. He recorded a video at the best rail fanning spots at Strasbourg.
Like he knew where they were.
Huh?
As if he knew where they were.
Bomb, bomb,
So
bomb.
he obviously made an effort, which means he obviously enjoyed it, because he wouldn't have just gone to the best rail fanning spots in Strasbourg.
For the
and
hell of
happened to
it.
record a polished video and edit it and put it on YouTube.
He enjoyed it. Giggity.
Oh,
No, we'll get to that when we get to Milky's other stuff.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh.
After, being a detective for a little while, I was at the Grand Canyon in my travels, and...
Again, you were in Arizona, and you came into Utah.
Nobody cares.
And you didn't tell me.
Oh, Julius, why do we have you as a guest? I don't understand this.
So talk to us about
Because
Utah.
he needs to share his testimony later.
on the geography podcast. Oh yeah, that's right.
When do I share my testimony?
Later. Model rating.
When we all do our model rating stuff.
So, at the Grand Canyon, I stayed in one of the national park lodges, which is in the national park area. So I stayed at Maswick Lodge South, I think. But so, if you went to the cafeteria area where you could eat, if you looked out the window, you could see the end of the Y in the old depot that they used to use when it was actually a passenger line.
Place.
So
Who ran that line?
Santa Fe.
Oh.
Haha.
Whew. Okay, good.
It's standard gauge, by the way.
So bad.
Wow, screw you. We never had standard gauge in my state. It was like this bold new concept when it came. We were like, we have broad gauge and narrow gauge. What is this?
What are we basing?
Something in the
What are we
middle?
basing all of our standards on? They didn't know until it showed up.
Basing all of our standards on an arbitrary measurement of 4 feet and something inches because I can never remember the standard gauge.
8.5.
4 feet, 8.5.
8.5. Why
But,
4 feet, 8.5 inches? 3 feet. It's a solid measurement. 2 feet. Easy. 9 feet. The freaking broadest gauge in the world.
Actually, the broadest gauge is 10 feet.
Trump card.
No accepting.
10 feet for... Way to be those guys, SP. I just know you're behind this.
Curse you, SP!
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go look that up while you guys talk. I'm gonna go look up why.
Anyway. So at the Grand Canyon Railroad, they moved old number 29 that they retired from their depot in Williams to the Grand Canyon depot that they actually
that
still
railroad.
use.
Why does TJ
So-
have -1?
Why do I have
Because
one?
you have 1 because you're singing. TJ is -1 because he made fun of broad gauge.
Wow, screw you.
But, so I went to see that with a reluctant cousin, obviously. Ugh, can you go any slower? Ugh, can you drag your feet anymore?
Yes.
Ugh, why are we walking on the train tracks?
Giggity. Can you go any slower?
Oh
Shut
my.
up, Michael.
Oh my.
Can you walk any slower?
See.
There's a shuttle coming, hurry up.
No. I know, hurry.
But so, of course I managed to go even slower because I was in my element with trains.
Why did you
But,
say that like that? You're like,
Trains.
Trains.
trains. Although, wait, no, we're saving the gay trains until later.
we've got plenty of them.
Trains!
Wait, guys.
That's like the life of a gay rail fan.
Hold on.
Ooh. No, he's like, ooh, the ground's vibrating.
I've got something about standard gauge. Just not a little thing. I haven't found the actual root of it yet, but standard gauge was originally called narrow gauge in contrast to Brunel's broad gauge. When
Damn it!
when smaller gauges appeared, it was renamed standard gauge. So broad gauge was originally standard gauge.
Wait, Isambard Brunel?
Yeah. Isambard King of Brunel had broad gauge, but that was the standard.
Anyway.
That was the standard of the day.
So, we went on a shuttle over to a hiking area in the Grand Canyon, and it was about 11:45 when we were coming back, and I just missed the train coming in from Williams. And, of course, I was kind of disappointed either way.
Who the hell is
if I
shuffling
hadn't
stuff?
Seen it. Because it was an F40, not a, steam locomotive anymore.
Oh, yay, my dogs are playing down here. Prepare for the loudest thing of your life.
I already heard some
Your
pretty
what?
loud stuff because somebody's shuffling their microphone around and it's really obnoxious.
Is this me? Is it me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm moving my Nana's laptop.
Yes, stop doing that.
I had to get comfortable, I'm sorry.
You should have gotten comfortable before the show. We had like an hour.
Now see, no, because the laptop on
Okay,
my
you know what?
or the
Move
microphone
on.
on my laptop is next to the webcam on the top where you don't hear it moving. But on this one, it must be on the bottom.
Yes. Okay, good for you. Stop moving.
And the speakers suck, by the way. It sounds very flat. But
California Zephyr.
But anyway.
It's somehow making your jelly sound worse.
So we were walking back from the shuttle, walking back to the Magic Lodge because it's within walking distance. And of course, you have to cross the train tracks. So I did see the F40, but it wasn't running or turning around. It had already turned around by 11:50, which was weird. See, my theory must have been that instead of going to the depot, dropping the passengers off, and backing onto the Y, that they just kind of drove the train with the passengers in tow right around the Y and then backed into the depot. But so I saw that train. It did a little short horn for me. I wasn't really near it, but it did it, so I heard it, and it sounded like Amtrak because it used to be stupid. Bye. Milky.
Okay. So I saw about 7 Portland and Western Railroad trains. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that half of them were in the yard, the half were the Toledo Hall, or just random trains that I saw out and about. And I saw 11 Amtraks.
11?
He has 3 Amtrak lines that run through there. Amtrak.
Also, he has way too much free time.
Also, he has way too much free time because he's
Milky
single.
needs a girlfriend.
I'm too young. You can't give me crap for not having.
You're not
I'm
Milky.
I'm only going into middle school.
Liar.
I've seen worse.
Wait, why?
I've seen a lot worse.
TJ, what are you doing to my stinking...
Oh my.
More specifically, in middle school, you can hear worse sometimes.
Oh yes.
TJ,
But
can you
moving on.
fix that?
It was an accident.
And there were
undo
5
it.
trains that went through the station.
How come you said TJ's taking forever
Because
on the
I
Skype call?
I didn't want to say it out loud.
Because you kept interrupting me. That's why it took forever.
Yeah, Utah.
You came to Utah and didn't tell me when. Let me wipe my eyes a little bit.
Well,
I thought that was going
Maybe
somewhere
nice.
else. Luckily, you said eyes.
TJ's back up to 0 for being mean.
Oh.
and I saw S.
Broad gauge is stupid. Yay, -1.
No.
Oh,
You don't get it that way. Alright, so moving on.
And yeah, there's plenty of wood chips, and I was at the Amtrak station when it was bang.
Apparently.
Plenty of wood chips and some wood.
Oh.
Oh, you should get
Hang
one.
on.
Milky, go on. We want to hear this.
Okay, so I was at the Amtrak station, and something weird happened. A guy came up to me, and the guy that I was a real fan with, said, "You watching my chips?" Obviously, I said no.
Obviously, you said
And-
yes.
Hey.
Finally.
Right.
And he was kicked off of the station property and got arrested.
Did you report him or did
Did
somebody
you,
else hear him?
report it to the police or something? You're like, this guy's trying to show me his schlang.
No, that's what the Amtrak station manager did.
Whoops.
What did he ask the Amtrak station manager as well?
I don't know. I think he asked everyone there.
But someone was bound to have reported him. Wait,
Yeah.
you went rail
I'm
fanning
sure-
with you used to go rail fanning with this guy?
No.
No,
Okay,
he was
good.
rail fanning with somebody else.
It says in
and the
caps,
guy asked
I
him-
said no. Sure you did, Milky.
I thought. See, Gillies, when you said someone was bound to report him, I thought you said someone was bound to say yes.
That's what I was expecting him to say, too. Mother of God. Okay, so, Achilles, our guest, what do you have to
Alice,
say?
you just undid all my stuff.
Yes, I did
can't-
undo all your stuff, which is why you're supposed to write it down somewhere else.
Oh. Well, I saw plenty of Union Pacific, and as I was driving home from Vegas, as I just stated a while back,
Vegas.
I did see the CSX Jibo on the back of an intermodal train, and I also did see last week coming home from church, and no, not the church you would expect. I did see a CSX GP60.
Wait, how many churches are there?
You know what?
He thinks we're gonna make a Mormon joke because he lives in Utah.
And
Oh.
I also saw the number 5 Zephyr because we missed the front runner train, and we just went to the station and we saw the Zephyr pulling in, and we also saw UTA and yeah.
What's
At
UTA?
least it
Oh,
wasn't
and
a UTI.
I also saw it's Utah Transit Authority. I also saw a Chicago Northwestern AC44 or whatever they are.
That
Number
thing.
6731. Yeah.
And it was kicked off at basicjinx.com after 2 days.
Yeah. It was recorded somewhere else.
Okay, Ellis. your
Moving on to
assigned
our assigned
jurisdictions?
jurisdictions. Train news wasn't so slow for me today. Or this week. Whoops, I accidentally X'd out the Terminus doc. Let's fix that.
Oh.
Alright, but first thing is that the
Okay.
T1 Trust has reached 501c3 status, which means it's a public charity with tax-exempt status. And contributions made to the T1 Trust are completely tax-deductible. And that actually includes donations of money as well as material and actual time. Like if you go in there and do work for them. That's tax deductible as well.
How do you become that? Because I feel like my model railroad club would really like to be exempt of tax.
Yeah,
Hey,
actually,
I'm
ours
working
is.
on Heritage units right now, and the 1983 had an engine fire.
Good for you.
Yay.
It burned, probably.
1983 was a lousy year anyway.
What do you have against 1983?
You weren't alive in '83. Why?
Doesn't mean he hasn't
At least you don't
visited it.
think.
Alright,
Yeah,
but
you
moving
forget.
on, there's a,
Ellis sometimes takes me on the TTO stuff.
eh,
And mainly I just hide in the glove compartment, but
don't worry, the glove compartment's bigger on the inside.
I was gonna make
So-
that joke, damn it.
Other stuff is the Portland Rad Museum, the Portland, Maine, with the SR and RL stuff. They
Oh, I want this boxcar.
They moved their engine number 4, which was the Forney that they were using, but is now out of service because of that, its 15 years is up, or whatever.
It's time of the
They
decade.
moved it into...
Yeah, 15 years is up,
They
buddy.
moved it into the museum, so it's going to be on display, because they're currently working on a different project already. So,
What project?
it's a engine number 7, it's very similar.
Is it another
Go
one?
to Anchor.
SR.
It's another Forney, yeah. And they're also doing, like, an ice cream train every Friday, so... That's
Michael
something cool.
Cush.
What were you saying?
Ice
I
cream
said
train.
I said Michael Cush.
Oh.
Wherever the Penn Central goes.
Something that I wasn't covering because I hadn't found the news page yet, I just realized where it was now. The Steamtown Rail Fest is August 30th to 31st, which is, yeah, it's the last weekend in August, as you would expect.
Alice, take me with you.
I'm not going.
Okay.
Also, I'm gonna be in RPI.
Oh yeah.
Why are all rail fests just in time for everybody to be in school?
I don't know, because. Alright, so, last thing in my
because-
jurisdictions that's
because-
particularly important is from the brand new Have Engine Will Travel department, which is a little company that tows around a couple of tank engines, and they have 2 that they're also
That's
working
a
on.
terrible name.
What?
Have gun, will travel, reads a card of a man.
No, Have Engine Will Travel is a
terrible
great
name.
name. Don't make fun of it, because they have Hank and Sadie. I don't love Sadie,
Why
but
did they just
Hank
call,
is
like-
awesome.
Like
Because Have Engine Will Travel is an awesome name. And they have a giant Volvo truck to tow the engines around with.
Oh my god.
My Volvo.
See, I knew it.
Buy my Volvo.
Do we all get +1 or -1 for that?
I'm just gonna leave it.
Hey, why did you give me the 2 strikes because CSX?
Hey.
Because CSX.
No, you're not allowed to change this. Stop it.
Something about your girl.
Sadie goes to Connecticut on the Naugatuck Railroad from July 19th up until August 3rd, and she's an 060 saddle tank. And Hank, the 040 saddle tank, heads to Ohio on the Lebanon Mason Monroe Railroad.
I want to go see Hank, the ambassador of Steam.
No, don't
Cough, cough.
wait.
Vulcan!
Yeah, he's in Ohio, and he'll be there until the 3rd of August as well. It'd be easier for us to go to the Naugatuck Railroad. That's the Railroad Museum of New England in Thomaston, Connecticut.
That's what I meant. I want to go to see Sadie.
Yeah, I don't like Sadie as much.
Racist!
No.
All I hear is a random.
My preference is Hank, because he is Hank.
Oh
The
my!
hump yards, you can see
Oh
cars being humped into.
Oh
god.
Is that +1?
That's I'm just leaving. Stop.
Trains getting humped.
Being humped. Also,
they get humped down the hill.
Okay, by the way, I have the reason why standard gauge is standard gauge. So originally, wagon wheels were
Why is standard gauge standard
wagon
gauge,
wheels
Ellis?
were built about 5 feet apart, but when they started to use
Why stop adjusting your mic?
I'm not adjusting my mic. I'm sitting perfectly still.
When they started to use iron rails and railroads, they felt that it was easier to measure on the inside of the wheel, and that actually brought the gauge down to about 4 feet 8. But they made an extra half-inch of wiggle room for the turns, and it eventually just got upgraded to 4 feet 8.5. It was a change that was made because they were given an extra half a foot. Or extra half an inch.
Will Travel is researching AE Dick,
Whoa.
restoring AE Dick.
Yeah.
What?
It's an engine by a company called AE Dick.
Oh god.
Or it was formerly owned by. But yeah, that's why standard gauge is standard gauge.
Owned by Dick.
So moving on to Weibold, who has a timetable.
Yes, actually, interestingly enough. Why was I not informed of this? Colorado has a railroad newspaper. Apparently the world's best railroad newspaper.
Probably
the only ones mind you as well.
Good job, why? Good job.
I was really, awestruck that this existed, and I had never heard of it. And
Why your mic is dying?
Keep going.
As usual,
it's not updated though.
None of my sources have any news to give me other than the usual, Yankee Girl, summer train schedule, tender decking.
Tender decking.
I'm so stoked.
So this one I actually got some interesting
Tenants.
sources, some interesting stories from. First being,
Don't tell me you're gonna read them all.
Well, there's only 3.
Okay, good.
Train
Right
news is
now,
slow.
anyway.
How much can you expect?
Well, actually, there's 12 pages of them. I'm just going to do the first page.
Oh.
Denver and Rio Grande Western locomotive number 318 is going to be on exhibit at the Colorado Railroad Museum very shortly. And yes, train news is very slow because that article is from 3 years ago. So, yeah, that's probably already on display. It's probably come and gone. Also, Denver Interurban is a company that
Okay, now you're really losing it.
What?
Now your microphone was really losing it.
Hang on.
My
heck is it?
Twirl.
Milky, TJ, you do
The
your
train
I
is
fix this.
possessed.
Okay. So, what do I have as news? Let's see. Oh yeah. Alright. Well, so as I said that I would go bring up again in my assigned jurisdictions, when I went to Strasbourg the other day, which usually runs trains on the half hour after, I think it might be the beginning of June, or maybe the beginning of May. But they run trains on the half hour. But hold on, let me pull this up. It's actually really interesting. Please don't say all cut up, because then I won't be able to find it again. I gotta go through my history. There was only one video. I mean, there was only one locomotive running. Yeah, I can't find it. But there was only one, number 90 was the only train running that day. But I found out why. It was because number 475 was not steamed up. Number 89 was in for repair. It had something wrong with the inside of the boiler. And I realized this from a comment that I posted on a YouTube video, as I said. And because the smoke box door was open as it was in the engine house when I was there. But and then I commented on that video of why Strasbourg didn't doublehead 31 and 89 because they have done it before for half-hour trains. And they said that 31 has been in for restoration since 2010.
Jeez, it sounds like a Steamtown job.
It's even worse than Cumbres and Toltec.
Have they actually done anything with it? Like, did they at least get the tender decking done?
Tender decking!
I don't really know if they've done anything with it yet.
So it is a Steamtown job.
Great.
But
Emilio.
So they are almost finished. I'm not sure if it's that they're almost finished or not, but they're working on restoring doing a checkup, which involves some minor repairs, which I guess are taking 4 years to repair on 31 and 89. 89, I think it might have been a cracked flue tube.
That
was 90. Never mind. But so yeah, they're both out. A couple weeks ago, number 90 was out for a cracked flue tube, and 475 was running the hour trains, and a diesel was running their Alco diesel was running their half-hour trains.
You
remember, coughs and sneezels spread diseasels.
But I was wondering also if they could have won, or if they could have used their Plymouth 2 tons, but they didn't. Because they have 2 of them.
What the heck is that?
What?
Sounds like a sitcom.
Somebody watching TV again.
In the background.
Sounds like Chihuahuas out of hell or something.
Alright, well, so that's my railroad news, I think.
Stuff.
Yes. Milky.
Okay,
And he's gonna go through this in 30 seconds again.
I knew on the Oregon Rail Heritage Center, or UP for that matter, fire up 611, they got a boiler inspection done, which will take weeks to analyze. And also the ultrasound testing is done on the boiler, and the superheater.
They've already got the boiler set for ultrasound?
Yeah, they already did that.
What is this?
Jesus, this thing's going to be ready to go here pretty quick.
That's because they have a lot of money.
That's a huge milestone to just have the boiler inspected.
And the superheater testing and repair underway.
Stupid feed water heater.
Yeah.
Anybody else that gets that reference, that's another hint at what we're bringing back.
And
we'll go over that later in V-Scale.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're going to talk about that.
617 is beginning to get new projects. Well, this was posted directly from Facebook, but in the first picture, which you can't see, the valve and gear heads are removed and a cardboard cover installed to keep the dirt out. In the second one, you can see the up cylinder head on the shop floor getting ready to be fixed. And that's about it. And I knew on the box at 819, but
What's 819
it's
again?
going.
Yeah, what is 819?
I forgot.
The Kind Belt Oit Forest.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, I was gonna say it's the northern, isn't it?
Yeah. It's,
Decking!
they were trying to fix it up. It actually ran since the 90s.
Tender
Yeah.
decking!
And that's it.
Excelente.
Oh, I've seen this.
Have you, though? Have you
TJ
really?
Kusuk?
No, I'm talking about this this train where the Mexican immigrants ride it into America.
Oh.
Hey, that's mine!
He's looking at yours. Spoilers.
Oh my!
And you didn't even have to ask. Alright, but,
I also watched that
what?
Norfolk Southern commercial.
I saw that when I was in Rensselaer. Alright, moving on to some other current events. We have the Trainbow. It's so great. It's so great. Now, Weibold later has a joke about a gay pride Pacific. This is an actual gay pride engine. It's
It's an actual gay pride locomotive. It's not just a joke.
It's crocheted. It's covered in colored yarn.
Bombed. I'm looking on this website and I see yarn bombed train.
Yes.
That's it.
It's awesome.
The Trainbow.
And it's not just the engine, it's the entire train. It's beautiful.
Oh my god.
No.
So
Mother of God.
Yeah, I know.
you've got to insert like a picture there.
What is with that naked guy?
What?
There's
If
no
you-
naked guy.
No, if you keep going on the slideshow, this.
Oh my god.
I don't want to keep going on the slideshow. Some
No.
weird Eastern European site.
Oh, keep going on the
Knows
slideshow.
what
It's like
Back
there's
in Google
guaranteed to
over
be a naked guy.
It's the
Yeah.
third picture. Oh no, it's the fourth picture.
Yeah, you.
Don't
you
care what
just need
picture
to
it
use
is.
That, DJ.
I'm not going to go looking for it.
Yeah,
I was just going
I don't
through
want to
the-
see it.
Oh
Ugh.
yeah.
No, but the link, of course, will be in the cargoes down below to check this thing out. Don't
The link
It
to the
gets-
naked guy or the
Especially
link
the
to the Trainbow?
the link to the Trainbow. Now, if we could get
It
another
gets
one parked
weirder.
next to it, we could have a double Trainbow. Moving on.
Double train boom.
And this
Or Sonic
is about the nicest train you can have. But Weibold's isn't.
Crocheting yarn.
Yeah, well, it's
Now it's-
pretty. And not at all
It's
deadly.
very
It's
lack-
pretty. Now, is this an actual locomotive at one point?
Yes, there is a real train under there.
That's what I thought.
Does it actually
Naked
run?
guy, yeah.
No.
No, it's covered in yarn. No, it doesn't run.
It looks like a Chinese locomotive.
You're a
That's
Chinese
what I
locomotive.
said.
I don't know, I still want to say it's Eastern European. I don't know too much about the sources or anything to give a definitive answer. Pretty sure it's Eastern,
California
but I'm pretty sure it's Eastern European.
California.
Alright, moving
Okay.
on. Weibold,
So
And
for my
remember,
assigned
be
jurisdiction,
chill.
or not
be chill.
for my other current events. Okay, thank you. I have the Train of Death and my
Dun,
El
dun,
Tren
dun.
de Muerte, which basically
let's not
You
get
put that
political.
into Google Translate, didn't you?
no, that was Ellis actually.
That's me.
The Train of Death.
Also, when you
is-
really need Google Translate for that,
Yeah, that's not. That's not very hard.
I know.
Oh my! But
you would
basically,
know.
the Train of Death.
Someone's getting a phone call.
TJ, go.
Okay, so
At least it wasn't toast.
so I was online surfing the intronets, and I found a YouTube video. I don't have a link for it,
It was porn.
but I'm sure you could easily find it somewhere. But it was of a police officer that saved a lady from an oncoming freight train. So what happened was it was like a police cam, and the guy drove up and stopped, and because the crossing gates were going down.
Did this
so,
lady just wander
all of a sudden-
on? Like, was she on her phone or something?
I don't know. Well, the gates were down, and I think she might have been drunk or something. And she just kind of like wandered onto the tracks and didn't notice the train, or some. No, I don't know. I think
Yes,
she was
just keep
passed
going,
out
yes.
or something. She was passed out, yeah.
Oh.
Because he picked her up, like he dragged her off the tracks,
And
So
then,
she was-
no.
So
And
he
then-
dragged her off the tracks,
Roofies.
and then like 5 seconds later, Norfolk Southern train just flashed like.
You said it was
screams-
UP.
No, I didn't.
Yes, it was UP. I saw the video.
Oh, it was UP. I couldn't really tell. It was dark.
There's a big difference there
so-
in color. But okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Now
But the
back to
yellow,
people
black and
actually
yellow,
dying.
black and yellow.
That's 1. Well, that's 4 for you.
Exo benign thousand.
Mookie, what's the other thing that was under there? Oh wait, no, that you moved that to your current events. Or your
Can I continue with Train of Death now?
yes.
Yeah, I did.
Getting on with Train of Death.
The Train of Death is basically this freight train that runs through South America heading for the U.S. border, and South American and Central American illegals get on the train and basically ride it across the American border. And why we're not standing there to greet this train with shotguns, I don't understand, but...
Thanks.
Why is there like a
Thanks.
customs thing, like
Or-
a checkpoint?
I was about
on
to
the
say
border?
it would be advantageous to put like a customs dude on the train.
Hmm.
If we know this train,
Or have like American
It's-
people drive
that's,
it.
that's my point, and
Because it's
of
not
course
like it's not
CNN
obvious that they're
reported on
there. It's
this.
not like they're in the boxcars. They're like on top of the train.
yeah, they're just
Yeah,
kind of
I
riding
watched
on
this
top of the
video,
cars and into the cars.
TJ. It is UP.
what the,
And of course, this is CNN's spin on it. It's the Train of Death gives migrant American dreamers, drives migrant American dreamers. They're Mexican illegals that want to come here to live off of the system and send remittances back to their homes. Which, now that it's off my
well,
chest,
you
I
know,
can
you know
continue
who,
with
you know who else is an illegal immigrant? Superman. Just throwing that out there.
That is true.
That is true.
Yeah, but he doesn't sit on his butt all day and send remittances back to Krypton.
He probably would if he
Actually,
could.
I love immigrants. If immigrants want to come to the U.S. and they want to work hard and they want to bring their families with them and make the economy better,
And
Come on,
come
that's
here
what
legally.
America is
Why?
for.
Also, come
But
here
be-
legally.
if
but
you
do it
come
as a
here
citizen.
illegally, I have no interest in you. If you come here illegally and just live off the system, sending money back to, wherever the heck you can,
Guatemala.
I don't care. I don't want you here.
But if you come here legally and you're willing to work for your money,
That's
then
good.
Yeah,
welcome
Because there are
Yeah,
plenty of lazy
welcome.
people here that will gladly not work.
yeah.
Portland and Western.
What does that have anything to do with Norfolk and Western?
I don't know. Western.
Be nice to Norfolk and... What?
If
Western.
if anybody wants to see the Train of Death thing, it'll be in the cargo, so you can put your own spin on that. That's basically my take on
And you
it.
can be very angry.
Yeah, I'm trying to regulate myself here because if I was allowed to just blow up, I would go.
He would make more of a mess than that big boy. Alright, so the other thing. And
Yes,
apparently
another
you...
thing is-
and it looks
BMW
to
Auto.
me in the timetable doc, or the Terminus doc, rather, that you blew up more on this than you did in the other thing. So...
Well, yeah, but the other one I kind of knew I would blow up anyway. This one, I don't. This is a new Norfolk Southern commercial that's like
Toy
where
Story.
trains go, the economy grows. Why do railroads need to advertise?
Because it's in cool.
Well, CSX has been advertising for years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
They have to.
You don't see
They have to
the
advertise to
specific ads
businesses.
once in a while.
You have to advertise businesses, but it's not like it's gonna do any good. It's not like your average Joe sitting at home is like, man, I think I'm gonna start a crochet business.
Well, yeah, but-
and I'm not gonna ship it by truck because of that commercial. I'm gonna ship it Norfolk Southern.
Well, you could
You don't.
because that's what
Anybody
they're
that
aiming
ships
at.
good. Anybody that ships enough goods to ship it on Norfolk Southern already does.
That's
It's not like,
that's
and it's not
true.
like Norfolk Southern is locked in combat or anything. They already have a monopoly. All railroads, even though
They-
there is the competition
Am I the
with the
leading
other
railroad?
railroads, there is enough cargo to go around. All railroads basically have cargo monopolies.
The issue is what they're trying to compete with is trucking. So
Right.
They're trying to compete with is trucking, but that's the point. Anybody that has enough cargo that they need Norfolk Southern to ship it already uses
That's-
Norfolk Southern.
that's specifically
That's not true.
and that's not true because you can use any method to ship your cargo if you have a small
Because
or a
most
large
people ship
amount.
it by plane if they have that much.
Yeah.
Well, really, the big advantage that trucks have over trains is
They can,
their convenience. You don't have to drive your cargo to a station to load it onto a train. Trains are cheaper to move things by. They aren't as fast generally, although since trucks have to make multiple trips to ship
a lot.
like a coal train worth of cargo. Like say you're a farmer and you're selling your year's harvest,
Dirty
trains
Dan.
can take one trip and trucks have to take like 5. The train goes faster.
Yeah.
The train just gets there in one trip. So really the only thing that they have on trains is the convenience that they don't have to ship it to a station.
And it's that competitiveness why they have to the competitiveness is the reason why they have to advertise.
But the other thing I've noticed that was an interesting note, I've only ever seen East Coast railroads advertise. I've only ever seen advertisements for Norfolk Southern and CSX.
I've seen a couple UP commercials
I
in
have
my
too.
lifetime.
See, I didn't even know that Union Pacific advertised. And has anybody ever seen a BNSF one?
Yes.
No.
No. I was surprised. I was surprised to see a Union Pacific one.
It's just
You know what's
It's
funny? I
certainly
just
out
realized
I've
the one
only seen a BNSF once, and it was ages ago.
the one railroad that would have to advertise, I haven't seen an advertisement for.
which one's
Conrad?
that?
Amtrak.
That is very true,
They do.
actually.
They do advertise.
That is because there's my thing is people that need to ship large quantities of freight, large enough to consider using railroads, they're not watching TV generally looking for new transportation.
No, but
methods.
it's not like you go
like you said, the one railroad that really needs to advertise would be Amtrak.
and they're
Because
not
they
because
ship
they're too
people
broke.
that are people are
Well, see-
actively looking for new ways to move. They're not
Well, see,
just
Milky said that he's seen Amtrak advertisements,
I've
but-
seen a
but-
couple.
Yeah,
I've seen
I
like
have.
one.
but we haven't seen them on the East Coast, Ellis, is because
Because
most
we've got-
places
The Northeast Corridor all the way over the.
exactly because most people
one I've ever
that
seen
need to
just
take the
don't even
train
have Amtrak.
are know the train's there because they see it.
The
Because
states
if
are
you're driving
small
down
enough
a
that you
high-
can't miss it.
Because if you're driving down down 95 to get or up 95 to get to Boston,
You always see it.
you're gonna see trains at least once.
Probably
And then
going
you can be
faster
like,
than you,
oh.
considering you're most likely stuck in traffic.
Yeah,
Wah,
exactly.
wah,
So they're like, oh,
wah.
maybe I should take Amtrak or MBTA. Like MBTA should advertise too.
I
That's-
saw
that's
an
my big
Amtrak
thing. I feel
commercial
like-
for the Acela ages ago.
I feel like passenger railroads should advertise because they're
You mean
really
the
notifying
passenger.
their consumer. Railroads, they're consumer, if you will. Again, they're not the type that are actively searching for new ways to transport stuff. They're usually pretty satisfied with what they have, whether that be truck or rail.
But the thing,
You know, if they really need a new method, they just look it up.
yeah, but the thing about
It's not-
thing about advertising, it isn't necessarily to go for the people that are seeking that out, because you don't sit down in front of the TV looking for advertisements. It's to grab.
Unless you're
it's-
watching the Super Bowl.
That's true, but it's to
Unless
grab
you're-
the attention of people that just to open their mind to that idea.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems like people who would need their minds open would be passengers, not freight customers. It seems like they would already have their minds set.
That's true, but whatever.
Yeah,
They
moving on.
advertise
TJ.
anyways.
What about me? I already went.
Yeah, you made him go
Okay.
first because you had to make
Oh, that's
toast.
right, because my mic went ape shit. Milky.
No, you had a phone
I-
call.
No, I'm kidding.
I have some.
So
I have something a bit different than all the rest of
a
you
crappy
guys.
Hudson.
No.
Yes,
No.
It's not a crappy Hudson.
it's a crappy Hudson because
No,
it's not the real thing.
Just because it's not a J38 doesn't mean it sucks.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It still is around.
The J3As are terrible. They couldn't even start without a
It
helper.
doesn't matter. They look great.
Brett Smash. Brett, I
So
can tell
Milky,
you're
continue.
Yes.
going a little green
Okay.
here. Might want to
Sam-
calm down.
Okay, so this article is about people from Topeka, Kansas. A bunch of
Kansas.
It's hot in Topeka.
It's hot in Topeka.
Always sunny in Topeka.
Topeka, Kansas. People
I'm a
from
hot Topeka.
All right,
Yeah.
moving on. They're mad about
What?
they're mad about conversion.
they're
They're afraid of
mad
change.
They're mad against. Well, they gave heated arguments against sale, refit, retrofit of ATSF ensign number
3463.
What's a retrofit?
It's fixing.
Change. Like a big change.
Okay. Thanks.
It's well, that's not what a retrofit is, but in the context, I suppose it could be.
Words.
Yes, words.
Words
And-
are wonderful, aren't they?
We did-
See.
For you guys that don't know what the 3463 is, it's The only remaining Santa Fe Hudson steam engine. It's a 464. And
Again, that's 464.
it's probably the only American-built one still around.
American-built Hudson?
Yeah.
That actually is a very valid point. I don't know if there are any more.
Just like
it's okay, they're working on one.
Strasbourg owns the only last Mastodon.
Also, I'd like to point out that Ellis likes to discriminate against Hudsons that aren't New York Central. I found a Hudson that was a J3A class locomotive, but it wasn't a New York Central one, and he hated it. He, spat upon it. He, cut it up himself, danced on its grave.
I did not.
Well,
I didn't do that much.
I wasn't hungry, so I couldn't have eaten it.
Ate it, spat it out because he thought it was so awful.
Which one was that, by the way? I don't remember.
I think it was a Santa Fe one.
Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. Hey.
See the old smoke rising.
All right, moving on.
I figured that since you have before that.
Southern Pacific Heritage Unit.
Road. Rock Island is the road to ride.
Get the time of day on the entrance in Topeka and the Santa Fe.
All right, enough with the singing. What's next?
Hey.
I have more than
All right, let Milky work.
Let's
Milky talk.
Shut up. Let's let Milky talk.
I have a Hudson.
Swag.
The president of the quote organization that's restoring this Hudson said that he plans to retrofit the engine, modify much of its mechanical interior, and streamline it in order to give it more efficient steam flow.
To make it the most big pimpinest engine ever.
To make it more efficient, it doesn't run.
And he hopes to set a record 131 miles per hour speed limit for this steam engine.
Again, does it run?
No.
Wait, this is the best part. Well, also Korean steam engine to be cleaner, less expensive and faster.
It's basically a prototype for making a modern, a new age steam engine that will be better than past steam engines and current diesel engines alike.
And
the British already did that.
Who did?
The British.
Yeah, well, this is Morocco. We don't listen to the British anymore.
The British already did it, and they decided that it was a waste of time.
Not since 1776. No, we don't listen to the British.
That's fair.
Okay, so it's going to be cheaper, faster, and more efficient than any diesel on the market today.
And it will lift, bro.
Yes.
Oh yeah, who's gonna make the money to do that?
They already have the money at hand. They already purchased the steam engine.
For once, somebody who is doing something with steam engines actually has money before they have anything else.
It's the first time that's been done since Blount.
It literally is. Everything train-related never has money.
But they do have the money. They're getting funded by the federal...
What about the Durango and Silverton? I've never seen them in cash woes.
They are an exception. Although they don't do a terrible lot of restoration. Well, that's not true either.
Alright, so moving on.
So, yeah, it's going to have 6,000 horsepower.
Horsepower!
That's as much as one of those E60Cs, for the record.
Yeah, one of those happy diesels.
Wait, 60,000 or 6,000?
6.
And
how much tractive effort will it have?
I have no idea. Wait.
I can't really compare anything to horsepower. Everything that I know, I just know the tractive effort of.
Well, it has about as much horsepower as 2 diesels at 90 miles per hour.
He was going down the grade doing 90 miles an hour when the whistle broke into a screw.
They're also going to streamline it. For any of you guys that have heard of the Blue Goose train to Santa Fe.
Oh, jeez.
Goose.
It's kind of it's going to be that.
The Goose was a Northern, wasn't it?
And now it's not.
It was a Hudson. It was the sister to this Hudson.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I know my
Blue Goose. I'm pretty sure it had 8 drive wheels.
I'm
pretty sure. No, guess not. Well, pardon me.
Boom.
Atchison, Topeka,
boom, that just happened.
And it's going to use cheaper biofuel as opposed to coal, oil, or diesel fuel.
Wait, so how are they planning on doing this?
Machinery and prayer.
So is it? Are they actually going to put it on a main line?
Yes.
Where?
Yeah. I have no idea where they're going to run it, but if this works out very well, like I think it is, it should be in the new year with the steam engines.
Well, the trouble that I see with it is a number of people have already come up with this promise, and honestly, my argument is kind of dying as I say it. The biggest issue is they never have the money to build it. Which is just trains.
Yeah,
but now that somebody actually has money,
they need another millionaire seafood manufacturer on the scene. All right.
Yes, they do.
So moving on from the haters, don't have a locomotive versus today. You guys should all suggest locomotives for locomotive versus in the comments section below.
Yeah, you haters.
Like the diesels.
No, that isn't. No.
Boom.
But moving on to model railroading, TJ hasn't been around. Tut tut tut. But the Providence Northern had a few things. Went into the club. Saw person X. Didn't quite know what to say to him because it wasn't sure if he knew that he'd been kicked out yet. This week I didn't see him. I didn't see him for the ops session either, so he must have figured it out. But that's when they had the Strasbourg coach and everything.
Strasbourg.
But the week after that, which was the week after we filmed the last Terminus, was the operating session with nobody. And we had our dispatcher, we had 4 yard masters, and we had about 2 extra people that could actually run trains. So it got so slow. Well, first of all, our dispatcher didn't quite know how to use the computer. No offense to Ray Schofield. He's a great guy, but the computer is really complicated.
Oh, he did it?
Yeah. The computer is really complicated, and Chris Clegg, our actual dispatcher, is always
BBQ.
at cookouts barbecuing during the summer. So he's never around.
Remind me to send you a picture of our dispatch system. Then tell me your computer's complicated.
You don't even have a dispatch system.
I'm not saying it's very complicated. I'm just saying Chris doesn't ever teach anyone. So nobody else knows how to use it really. So he was being the dispatcher, but he wasn't actually throwing any switches or changing any signals. So eventually he got up and started running trains too, and just pulled stuff over his radio. Eventually I started running trains, and all the yard masters started running trains too. They would just go back to their yards when a train showed up, because that's how slow it got. So it was really.
Was Don Nevin there?
No, a lot of people weren't there. Even Don wasn't there.
Was there like a train show or something?
I don't know. Must have been.
Oh, Little Rhodey might have been that day.
I was using.
Rhodey.
I think if Little Rhodey was that day, I don't think Ray would have been there.
Who's Little Rhodey?
It's a train show.
Oh.
Hey, Little. I'm sure all of the train lovers in Rhode Island were there, because Rhode Island is very.
All 5 of them.
Yeah.
All 5 of them.
There's like 60 members in our club. How does that even work out?
There's like 30.
The rest of them just aren't from Rhode Island.
Yeah, that was the operating session with nobody. It was really just kind of interesting being able to run trains as a yardmaster. Also, I shunted with the Mogul again, because nobody was there to stop me. And I ran a mainline train with the Mikado, because nobody was there to stop me.
Did you also run a freight train with the Challenger?
No.
Because there's nobody there to stop you?
No, I didn't pull the Challenger out. I only ran a train. Or else I would have put the Mikado on that. But then there was the actual... Speaking of Hudsons, there was a Hudson at the train club just today, and it was streamlined pulling the Empire State Express, and it was beautiful. Except it was cheating, because
cheating.
Well, I don't remember what was the company that made it, but apparently they weren't very good models. So the engine.
I think I know.
Probably that company that made our mountains, Alice.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't think it was. No, it's not the same company. But
because they don't make very good models.
Was it Athearn?
No, it wasn't. I don't remember. I've never heard of them, so I assume.
Nice.
I've never heard of them, so I assume they went out of business.
For some reason, everybody hates Athearn. I don't understand why. Everybody hates Athearn locomotives.
I like Athearn.
I do too. I don't understand why everybody hates them.
I also like Walters.
Walters.
I like Webwochi and Tycho.
Walters.
I like Bachman.
Bachman!
Shout out to Lee. Alright,
I like Blackstone.
but they moved,
Hashtag never forget.
or rather, the Hudson, because it was having trouble moving on its own, because first it was old, and second, it just had problems. The dude who owned it made the baggage car of the Empire State Express an RDC. So, or rather, they made an RDC the baggage car. They swapped them around and consisted them. So that when the train tried to move, it was actually the baggage car pushing it, you just couldn't tell. Because they were actually really perfectly speed balanced.
So who was this Ellis? Do I know?
I don't remember. I don't remember his name. I don't know. Whatever.
Was
You
it that
don't
guy that's like,
remember.
we're going too fast?
No, it's not that guy. He was there, though.
Somebody needs to tell this story now.
We'll get to it when we get to TJ. You have to talk about tiny whistles now.
Oh, yes. We had...
This could be perceived very
I
poorly.
actually had a lot of eventful stuff in these past couple of weeks. The last one on my list I just remembered thanks to Ellis
You're welcome.
and getting away with stuff with Lee. And so basically, first and foremost, we had the Gay Pride steam locomotive.
It wasn't.
One of the
It
members
unfortunately was not crocheted. I was very disappointed to find out.
It was not crocheted or rainbow, but it was Mantua. It was a Mantua locomotive with DCC and sound, and the sound was so horrible in it. And it's a Pacific locomotive, and its whistle sounds like a teapot. It's like
a live steam whistle.
it's so horrible, and the whistle is so high, and such a terrible recording at that. We spent all of last week trying to fix the stupid whistle on it, and everybody was, like, oh, here comes the afternoon special, and they sound the whistle. See, now that's a whistle. And we all just mocked him for it so much.
Wow.
So next thing is Lou Tribute, which I am very sad to inform everybody that, unfortunately, a member of our club, Lou Palmer, passed away just after we filmed the last Terminus. He was a great member of the club. He was a great guy, and he will be dearly missed. But at the club last week, we ran one of his passenger trains, just running the entire time on slow speed. It had full priority, just his last run. And
Was
also
he in it?
Yes, he and his wife were on the rear platform, actually.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we put little figures on the back for him. But yeah, he was a good man. He was a great man. And on the note of that,
He's up with the
actually,
Hudsons now.
Except for that one.
all of
That
his
one doesn't count.
stuff. All of his
No,
stuff.
It does.
All of his stuff had to be taken off of the layout and kind of boxed up. It was going to be sent to a show to be sold, although they gave everybody at the club first dibs if they wanted to buy anything. And I actually bought 4 things. I bought 2 tank cars that I will convert to HON3 to run on narrow gauge. They're Gramps oil tank cars. And I also bought 2 really short, I think they're like Maryland and Pennsylvania coaches for Lee. Because they're so freakishly light. If he cannot move them, he won't be able to move himself.
So you can move
They
it.
are that. I am putting them together as kits, and I'm leaving the weights out. They literally weigh about as much as a few pieces of paper.
It's like
Like,
those
it
New
is-
York Central coaches.
They're the lightest things, and they're each shorter than Lee's tender. They're just
What?
tiny little coaches.
What, can one person fit in them?
They're like
I don't know,
outhouse
but-
coaches.
Yeah, but
Bobbler.
basically
Crummy
that's my new excuse for Ellis is now he can actually run scenic railway trains because Lee has a set of scenic railway coaches.
I always had that tiny little, what the hell is this?
Oh no!
I always
I have a
had
feeling we'll fix.
I always had that one coach that was heavier than all of the other coaches in the layout, but you could pull that one coach.
And the boxcar. Don't forget the
It
boxcar.
couldn't pull them both at once.
Oh, wow, great. Well, now you can pull the boxcar and these 2 coaches. But
Wait, is it in the Skype chat?
Another
Penis.
thing that came from the Providence Northern that just managed to hit our layout is something very unfortunate, and I'm blaming Ellis for this.
Wait, what did I do?
Modernization.
No!
Uh-oh.
No.
Modernization is coming to our layout.
What?
Oh my.
We have...
What kind of modernization? Like dieselization?
Sort of.
Uh-oh.
We've basically decided to delegate a few months of each year to be... I think it's 2 months is going to be oldies, which is like pre-1930 locomotives. 6 months or so is going to be transition era. And the remainder of the year is going to be modern. Which... No steam, all diesel. It's all like post-1960, I think, was the cutoff. And I found an excuse.
How do you run the narrow gauge, then?
We currently... That's the loophole. The narrow gauge, because I'm going to very shortly own a K36 locomotive in HON3.
Oh, you actually bought that?
I'm saving for it quite aggressively.
I'm going to own an X-Bone, but that's completely beside the point.
Yeah. But basically, I found the loophole because the cutoff for the really old engines is 1930, and the K36s were built in 1925. So it can be in the old era. It can be in the transition era because it was used through 1930. And it can even be
in the modern
era
because they never changed over.
Because the cutoff is 1960, and it was number 486, my K36, was retired in 1961. So...
What are you going to run it with?
For loopholes. So basically, I just have to lay really low. They won't let me run it because it kind of defeats the purpose of the modern.
Well, what do you run on the narrow gauge then? What do you have? I don't know.
Dieselized.
For the modern era, nothing actually.
So what?
Ironically,
in the modern time.
Ironically, the only diesel we have on the narrow gauge was scrapped before the steamers were. So. The narrow gauge will just be shut down for that portion of the year.
That's disappointing.
No,
but there's the loophole. They won't let me run the engine, most likely, but at the same time, we probably won't have to take it off the layout because they were just abandoned there. In 1969, I think, was when the last train ran. All of the engines just kind of sat there until the Cumbres and Toltec and Durango and Silverton came along. They just kind of sat there.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah, so I think we can just leave them on the layout, especially because nothing else will be running the narrow gauge. We can just kind of leave them there and just not run them for a couple months.
Can't you just say it's like a tourist thing with revenue?
Well, like I thought about that and getting another tender for the engine that I could number for the Durango and Silverton, because that's where the 486 currently is.
Put some nice decking on it.
Excellent. But then I realized, oh wait, another tender for this engine is going to cost over $100 because HON3 is so freaking expensive that I have
Just say they used a photo charter at the Durango and Silverton, so they repainted it to its original paint scheme.
They never do that. They do that all the time on the Cumbres and Toltec, but they can never do that on the Durango and Silverton.
Why not?
Why not?
They always re-letter it to be the Polar Express, but no, they can never make it just a Rio Grande.
That's because that's what the Cumbres and Toltec does. They have an agreement.
They have a licensing agreement with... That's the best thing ever, that you have to get a licensing agreement with Union Pacific to number anything for the Rio Grande. That is fantastic and stupid at the same time.
Do you have to get a licensing agreement? Wait. See, this would work if I remember the name of the dude who wrote the Polar Express, but, you know, you have to get a licensing agreement with him when you renumber anything with the Polar Express?
Yes.
Wow.
You do. Actually, you have to get the agreement with, like, Warner Brothers because they bought the franchise when they made the movie. But yeah, you have to get the contract with Warner Brothers. Oh, that brings me to another thing for assigned jurisdictions, actually.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
We're going back in time.
Recently, Fox News named the top 5 Polar Express railroads in the United States.
Conway Scenic is one of them.
Yes.
Yes.
And basically...
Main narrow gauge is another one.
These are the top 5.
I hope so.
These are the top 5 if the list will load. The Grand Canyon Railway, the Durango and Silverton, the Saratoga and North Creek, the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad, and best of all, the French Lick Scenic Railway. Which, the only reason I brought up this story was to say French Lick Scenic, because it's amazing. Put a link to their website or something in the cargoes. I mean, that's fantastic.
You'll just have to remember to give it to me.
It's like...
As opposed to Italian lick.
Oh my.
Well, it's fantastic because French Lick, it's kind of what a French is, right? Again, Alice would know about that.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's get off of that.
Oh
There goes
my.
Yay!
But
Milky.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jelly, stop moaning.
Achilles, please.
Oh, Jellies, quit jacking yourself off.
That's only for British people on trains.
And they're doing the English again.
They just came back because they were like, oh, they must be done with that.
Yeah, they're probably done mocking us now. Oh, that's only for British people on trains. Damn it, Terminus!
It's almost time.
Well,
for
at least
my
they were here for most of
testimony.
the episode.
It's
That
also
guy with
almost
the-
time for my testimony.
That big guy sitting next to his computer with the pins,
The
the tennis
pennants.
pins and the t-shirts.
Oh. We love you, fat guy. Please. Come on, the Terminus is a guest. We love you.
We don't even know who he is.
We don't know who he is. Seriously,
At
if
the
you're
opposite
if you're
day,
overweight
hate
and
you.
have like a Terminus or anything, we will.
Ah, no, your microphone again.
You sound like you're a robot.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
See, it worked for that. What the hell?
Oh, come on!
Alright, moving on. Milky, your Oregon Southern HO scale module.
It's
Yeah.
almost time for my
Like how it is.
my
At the moment, the
testimony.
work zone is just one tiny module in my closet with a steam engine on it and two cars and a freight train.
Beautiful.
It doesn't work.
Oh,
It doesn't even operate.
it doesn't do anything.
At the
And
moment.
TJ has a big giant nothing in for his because he's been away.
Now on to Milky and then
Milky
it's
and White.
and then it's
Oh,
my
it's
very special
alive!
testimony.
It's alive.
After this,
Wait,
it's my
is this
very
mine?
special testimony,
Yes, Wybold, it's alive.
It's alive!
and it's
Hey,
getting
who took away
bigger. If you
My
know what I mean.
D-scale thing. Oh, it's here.
But basically, in news of live Steam, I'm very happy because I recently got my
Fake live Steam.
quote unquote live Steam, my 7.5 inch gauge steam locomotive running.
7 1/4 is
And
better.
of course, because we half expected it to like melt when we turned everything on.
That's like everything in
as
my
soon as it
robotics
started
class.
running, I shouted as soon as it started running, "It's alive! It's alive!"
R.I.P. headphone users.
Wybold, you know what you should do to make it? I'm not sure if you might have done this already, but you should
Add a flamethrower.
put like a smoke machine in it.
Yeah, the trouble with the smoke machine is I don't want to pay for the oil. The oil is freakishly expensive.
Well, no, just get something that burns regular
Just add a
oil.
flamethrower.
Just put some bacon on it.
Exactly.
Just put a little,
That
just
works
put a
for
little,
Put some
a little
awesome
ash
bacon
pan
pennants.
and some leaves,
Some.
and then light it on
You
fire.
realize it's made out of
That is-
wood,
It doesn't
right?
actually
Up
burn
in
anything
it.
inside of it. It doesn't have a boiler.
It's also made of wood.
In a box.
Yes, it's made
It's in
completely
a
of
box.
plywood.
It's
That
not
would
in
suck
a
if you like.
box.
It is very flammable.
Okay, so
That would suck if you're like.
now
"Wanna
back
burn the leaves
now
for
back to
for
the
smoke.
now back to the worst
engine's
steam
on
engine
fire.
idea ever. The steam engine made out of wood.
Time to start my smoke machine. The engine's on fire.
And I currently don't have anything at the moment, but
Feel
I
bad.
do plan on doing something in the future for
Man
wide
machine
scale.
the fusion.
Are you still gonna try and get something before the triennial next year?
Yeah, I'm still hoping to.
I'm still gonna hopefully get something too. But
Less than a year now.
is
Well,
it time for my testimony?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Achilles, what would
I
you
have
get?
an add-on to Y's story last week. I think it was Y's. I don't really ever. But anyways,
What was it?
the Digitrex thing. But as I do want to say, my model railroad club has to be one of the meanest, because when you do something simple like I dropped my Digitrax in action. I think I was running my City of Los Angeles Streamliner, and I accidentally dropped my Digitrax.
The base.
And there was the Yardmaster, and he was standing right next to me. And he says, "Be careful what you do with that Digitrax, because those Digitrax cost like $200, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And next time you drop it, or you do something wrong, we're kicking you out."
What syndicate year ends in?
It was my Digitrax, yes. It belonged to me.
Oh my god.
And
That's even worse. I didn't even know that detail.
Yeah, you didn't tell us that last time.
You didn't tell us that it was your Digitrax. I thought it was a club thing, and I'm like, yeah, they're just full of themselves. That's your Digitrax?
yes, it was mine.
You should be outraged at them.
Yeah.
Well, what is he gonna do? Get angry and then they throw him out?
Exactly. And I was like running my Streamliner, and
Oh, somebody had a turbo train at the club today.
What?
Somebody had an Amtrak turbo train. The dispatcher guy, the guy you're running your train too fast in reverse, he had a turbo train.
Again, you need to tell us that story. TJ forgot
we'll get to it later.
And as I was running my City of Los Angeles Streamliner with, I think it was like F7s or something like that.
Swag.
And I was right approaching a turn, and I dropped it, and little did I know there was a train stopped, and there was a backup around that bend, and I couldn't see what was going on. So it rounded the bend. I picked up my Digitrax just in time, and it stopped right as it was about to butt up next to the train.
Surprise butt sucks.
Yes.
Surprise!
Now, on the next note, I have started the Richmond. Great job, DJ.
Are you
I
okay?
have started the Richmond and Virginia Mining Co. And I've started the
Look at the
woodwork.
dog,
I started the
everybody.
woodwork on that. Building of the track and stuff will not start for a while, and stuff. And also, I'm going to be going to a train show next month through August 1st and the 2nd, or the 2nd and the 3rd, or the 1st and the 3rd. I have no idea.
Wait, everybody saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Unfortunately, TJ, you sick and twisted little bastard.
He left the door open and I took it.
Oh my.
And, yeah,
Oh
that's my model railroading. CaliforniaZephyr.com.
Amtrak catchy stuff.
No.
That
Stop with
actually
the .com.
exists.
I don't know.
NScorp.com. CSX.com.
Amtrak.
Okay, moving on. to V-Scale.
Uh,
Ojilas, you actually have the first thing in this list. Unless you want to save it for last.
No, isn't that for everyone?
Well, yeah, but you're the ringleader of the tormentors here.
Okay, so if any of you remember the Full Buccaneers
I don't.
series from...
I never watched it.
Well, besides Alice here, who nobody loves, and I'm joking. And, if any of you remember that, it kind of died off 3 years ago.
Let's see.
And,
don't do it, Milky.
they said that anyone who wanted to continue it could continue it. Hint, hint. Does anybody know what that means?
Yeah.
But,
It means
we have decided to continue it in Train's New Era, although it will not be out until at least
Train's New Era comes
midsummer
out.
or fall next year, because A, we have to get all the locomotives working for all of us,
Yeah.
as well
And
as make the multiplayer sessions and make the route. Y is in charge of that, I believe.
What?
Aren't you going to make the route, Y?
Sure.
You're the best out of all of us.
He just got volunteered randomly.
Yeah.
I don't know, have you
I
seen my
volunteers
new
tribute!
route? My new route's pretty good.
And yes, we are continuing.
By the way,
with
Ojilas,
the
excuse
Buccaneers.
me.
What? What?
Never mind.
Just say it, Alice.
Just say it.
Why
It's okay.
Why
you
you're the
farted.
best out of all of us.
Why am I the... Oh.
And we have gotten rid of some characters, but I'm not going to spoil anything. You're just going to have to wait until fall
Also, we
next
need
year.
voice actors.
We
have-
decided to find a giant edge of the baseboard table and just drive a bunch of engines off.
Yeah, that's our retiring ceremony. AAAST.
JB was behind it.
Yes, JB was fine.
John Brightmeyer.
And-
We'll talk about him in a future episode.
Yes, we're going to get rid of some characters, and we're going to add one or two characters eventually. We might bring back a couple characters as guests, but no, we're not going to give any spoilers on that yet.
Yeah.
It's just there. We're
Okay.
announcing it now.
Ellis, tomorrow's Valen Anaconda.
Wait. We have Gmod train building.
Wait, no, we have Locomotive
Nobody has
Versus.
done
Have we done that?
I have a
literally-
little
I'm the
bit.
only one that's done
Okay.
anything in Gmod.
I've done a little
Ellis.
bit.
I screwed around with
We have
Stargates.
Locomotive Versus.
What about
We
Locomotive
have
Versus?
Locomotive Versus.
We
Oh
don't.
God.
Next episode.
Look at it.
Yes, I saw it.
I'll be willing to go on the other side.
So,
I know you
Ellis, TVAR,
Hold on, I have to finish this.
TNN, and Z
Tomorrow's Valen Anaconda.
Terminus Valen Anaconda is still in progress. I've been doing work. I textured Grizzly Peak this week. So
Good job.
and the surrounding swampland. And somebody actually
I did texture.
somebody had a great suggestion, which was do a screw around episode every 10 episodes, which is a great idea. So I'm going to do that now, starting with
What's a screw around? Like running trains,
running trains
actually?
as opposed to working.
You know what trains is built for?
Yes. You need a route to do that first. So first things first. But
Or, work on Lambic Grove?
that hasn't been voted in yet.
Do it.
I'm not doing it because one person tells me to do it.
I announced my veto to do it.
Moving on. Providence and Northern. I scouted.
The mic just went wacko.
It's 2 goals.
My mic?
No, it's 2 goals.
No, it's fixed. Okay, so I scouted the entire Providence and Northern route in Google Earth and in MapQuest, plotted it out, so you saw what it looked like in a map.
Sorry, I turned my volume way up
Quite long.
on accident.
Indeed. The zombie train, done voice acting, probably not going to get it done before I go to Rensselaer, which is going to be a problem. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do there then. Train Fever. Pre-orders are available.
Gonna get it now.
Wait, isn't that the app?
No.
Is it multiplayer?
Probably not.
What's Train Fever?
It's like new
the
locomotion.
modern version of locomotion.
So it's like Open TGG.
Yes,
Kinda,
except
yeah.
awesome looking.
No? When TGV shots them.
I said awesome
Yeah,
looking.
I don't get why you'd pay for something like that when you can just get Open TGD for free.
Oh yeah.
Wait, open TTDs for free?
Because it's not the same
Yeah.
game.
Why was I not informed of
You
this?
didn't know it was free?
No.
It's open.
CSX.
Why do you think I have it?
And why do you think we all got obsessed with it for a while?
I never got obsessed with it.
I don't know what we're yelling
But that's
about.
because I have locomotion.
Underdecking. That's
Uh,
what we're yelling about.
Woo.
That's what everybody's raving about.
Wybold, this is something different.
Huh?
Difference weird. I don't
What
like
you have
it.
written
Is
down
it
here.
my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, recently my route, I've been doing nothing but upgrading scenery along the original right-of-way, which is a mind-numbing job. I do not recommend it to anybody, but the route now looks a little bit better.
Better than beautiful.
Basically just adding
kissing
grass
the mic?
everywhere.
Grass.
And so basically now we've gone
Funny.
on to, now that that's done, I can actually expand on the southern portion of the route, and I am going to finish the route, and for Trains 2009, I will have the route available by December. Or, well, I'll have it available for beta test by December, probably release in early 2015, and I'll have it available for New Era probably summer or early 2015.
Yeah, but
Yes.
But
why don't you do any more trains Let's Plays anymore?
Let's play.
The channel's been a little bit weird,
You're a
so
little bit weird.
Oh, Let's Play.
Alright,
Why?
so
also,
Portland, Boston, and Kennebec Central, Augusta branch.
That's
this
me.
This is the guy that told me to be careful with my digitracks. I'll put his YouTube link.
No,
His YouTube.
no, he doesn't need to be
Put
famous.
his address and his email and his phone number.
so everybody can hate him. So Pendant Man can assassinate him in his sleep.
Wow. I didn't know
Okay,
Pendant Man was
well-
going to get violent. Does he...
Pendant Man's very violent. You don't know
doesn't
Pendant
know-
Man.
He doesn't only have pendants and pins. He has a
Like just impale him with a pin.
He has
Very
a
large pin.
Terminus sniper rifle.
It terminates.
Wow.
Like it's
Special
one of those.
edition.
It's one of those whistling ones, so it sounds like the gay pride train.
Oh,
It has a little
Anyway.
whistle in the bullet, so when it flies through the air, it makes a whistling noise.
Like
And it says Terminus on the side. And his catchphrase when he shoots someone is, "The train will terminate at this station."
No, it should just be called. The rifle should be called the dispatcher, and it terminates people.
The dispatcher. That's fantastic.
You just got
A dispatcher.
or the conductor.
No,
the engineer.
because you can't conduct people, you can dispatch people.
The terminal master.
But
The switch
Front
man.
Runner.
No.
No,
Bomb run.
The,
rum runner,
the
Wait, they did
station
a push
master.
the bootlegger.
All they do is push pulls.
The bootleg. Oh, come on! I want to read the
All right,
bootleg
moving
again.
on. Then get the friggin' bootlegger. All right, moving on.
Again!
Christ, some more.
It's not available on Amazon, and we don't have a stupid bookstore that has it.
So back to
Oregon
Portland,
future.
Boston, and Kennebec Central, the Augusta branch.
You're an Augusta
I
branch.
I have fully textured the 2 blocks that I have finished.
Whoa.
Costa Strulia.
Me gusta.
Me gusta. Gusta indeed.
It's-
The train of death. Me gusta.
It's the Megusta branch. All right.
The Me gusta branch.
The Mexican part of Maine. But so
Metrolink.
if I didn't say this last year,
Metrolink.
last time on the Terminus,
Metrolink.
Last time on the Terminus.
Dun
We
dun
should do
dun
that.
dun.
Never let go.
But Metrolink.
but so
1-800-272.
the Portland, Boston, and Kennebec
Wait, are we
Central
gonna contact them or
No.
not?
is
No.
a railroad that runs from Boston to Portland, Maine, or from Boston, Massachusetts to Portland, Maine, and then from Portland,
I'm
Maine,
pretty sure they're not going to confuse the Boston, but
Boston, Maine.
and then from Portland, Maine to Kennebec,
to
which
Boston,
is
Maine.
near Augusta, but farther up
nobody
north.
knows where that is.
But Augusta, the capital of Maine, it's
Me
a
gusta,
fictional-
Maine.
it's a fictional branch line based off of a Grand Trunk branch line through Augusta.
Grand
Augusta.
Trunk, more like Grand Junk.
Aha!
That's. Hold on.
Is that +1 or -1?
That's nothing.
Go look at your score. I don't really remember.
I didn't change anything.
Open 9,000.
Wow.
I didn't do that.
Type duo.
But so it's in progress. I have 4 locomotives that run on it. I have a
Oh wow.
280, a
locomotives.
consolidation.
Cool.
I have an 060, an 080, and of course an 060 Camelback.
Ew.
Camelback.
It's like they forgot how to make an engine.
And
My dad and I were discussing earlier how miserable it must have been to drive a steam engine on like a 90-degree day, and I brought up the prospect of a Camelback, and he just looked at me like I was high. Like,
why?
no, there's no way somebody did that. Who would be that stupid?
Were you right on top of the boiler?
Yeah, you literally are straddling the boiler.
And the fireman gets to be
Hey.
lodged in this tiny space
Yeah, the fireman has
Space.
danger of being crushed between the engine and the tender.
upon
I
sudden
am the
stops.
space base.
What even was the advantage of the
You
Camelback?
could see in both directions.
See,
You could do that with a
both
slope back
directions.
tender, though.
Yeah, but they didn't have the capacity of a Camelback tender, a regular tender.
But wait, the Camelback tender the cab on a Camelback isn't any wider.
What?
Oh, Jillies.
The
But-
cab on a Camelback
but-
isn't any wider.
Yeah, but you can
can't-
see.
wouldn't be
You
able
can
to-
see back.
Yeah,
Camelback?
but you can only see back to the tender.
No, you can't.
Back to
It's
the
higher.
future.
It's not wider, but it's higher. It's up because you're
Uh-huh.
on top of the
Wait.
boiler.
Just place.
It's higher, just please.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so moving on to
Why did they build mainline engines?
what?
Why Why'd they build mainline engines that were Camelback to Sun?
No, because you don't need to see in reverse.
Yes, you do.
You do if it's TJ driving it. Huh?
TJ.
Oh. Strasbourg.
Again.
He's Strasbourging it. He's TJing it.
Strasbourg in it.
Strasbourger.
Actually, the maiden voyage of the Camelback, which Weibold and Jacob, our guest last week on the Terminus, got to witness over Skype on the share screen setting. They got to witness a drive off the edge of the map.
The only thing a good Camelback deserves is a quick death.
Where I then had to get my 080 all the way from the roundhouse all the way up.
Oh yeah, 2 tiles away. God forbid.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, it's swirly.
It's a full 0.3 miles.
Hey, it has massive curves. Oh my!
Huge tracts of land.
But
it is the most.
What did you say?
I always forget the line. What is it, Ellis?
I don't remember. I don't know what you're trying to say.
It is the most comprehensive.
Oh yeah. It's the most comprehensive piece of thing ever created.
Most comprehensive piece of thing.
Alright, but moving on.
So I created Lake, I don't know the name. Lake Augusta.
Lake TJ take a pissa?
Lake Honduras.
Lake TJ likes men.
Like Moose Lake.
TJ likes men Lake.
I completed Moose Lake,
Canada.
and I completed...
TJ likes men.
I completed a couple of mountains that surround the tracks and the main line, which is just serviced by 2 portals.
Wait, so that's it for the route? You're not expanding it anymore?
Oh, no, I am. I just haven't been able to because I haven't had my laptop.
He hasn't been home. Wait, hold on. This is all on a laptop? That's right, it is.
Yes, it is.
You haven't had it with you.
Yep. Nope. I'm not allowed to bring it down to Pennsylvania.
Why?
Why?
Because it's not technically my laptop.
Well, you know what, penis? Okay, so...
It's technically
what laptop is it, then?
It's technically a family... We got it for a family laptop, but my mom hates Windows 8. My stepdad never uses it because he's technologically in the 1970s.
He's a Luddite.
Same with my dad.
It's technologically in the 1970s.
And so now it's just been abandoned to me, stays in my room, has Steam, Gary's mod.
Steam.
Like the 580
Minecraft,
megabyte, big boy from 19...
Minecraft,
billion tons.
And War Thunder on it. So now it's mine. Because nobody uses it. Because everybody uses the Windows XP desktop that's also in my room.
Oh god.
Why are they both in your room?
Because there's no other place for it.
I would kill to have a computer in my room.
I have a computer. I have my
I'm
own
in the
room
bloody kitchen.
I have 3.
No, but
And there's this freaky owl staring at me from out the window, and he's creeping me out.
He's like,
He's
why?
giving
If my mic suddenly goes dead, you'll know that the owl broke through the window and is pecking my eyes out.
no, if you just hear...
And has managed to mute. You just hear.
My eyes.
My eyes.
You know, owls aren't always wise. Hey, get my
Did you know
friend
some owls aren't so
Yeah,
wise?
but owls always go for wise.
Okay, that's 4.
Oh, come on.
That's actually 8.
That was
That's actually
fantastic.
9001.
4.
It was 5, actually.
It's 7.
No, it's not 5. I only add them when I mean to add them.
Oh.
I haven't missed
Okay,
one
then.
yet. Alright, but finally, #Queen rules. Apparently somebody decided to write that.
I did.
Milky.
So that's Milky's conclusion. Anyone have a conclusion to add?
Yes,
Wait.
your story about running too fast in reverse.
No. We'll
German
save the
trains.
stories for another time because we just hit an hour and 40 minutes.
German
Wow,
trains
so
in America.
It's a long podcast.
Oh yeah.
What?
It's very dark.
On that note,
And on that note, thank
that
you
bombshell.
guys.
Well, no.
On that bombshell.
Everyone gets
Yeah,
one.
Bob.
Everyone gets one concluding thought. Is just something I came up with. So, Milky gets Queen rules.
Tender decking!
Everyone gets standard
That's
decking.
mine.
Now, TJ. Well, you can use the same one.
Train in
I'm so
America.
stoked.
Wow.
And remember...
That was my...
Wait, what about mine? What about mine?
Oh, say something.
You don't get one, you're a guest.
8 equals D.
Okay, and we've got a cool picture here of an
lightning thought.
of an ICE in the U.S. And remember, J3As are the only real Hudsons. See you guys next in 2 weeks.
And